from Studio 105 Productions. Anything and everything and shit podcast with Justin and Eric. What's going on, y'all?
Yeah,
welcome back. This is Justin. I'm Eric. We're here to entertain you once again. So thank you for tuning in and all that good stuff, man.
Yeah. Thanks for coming back, everybody.
Yeah. Right on.
We always appreciate every person that checks us out.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Thank you, and all that good stuff, and all your comments and whatever. So cool.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So how's your weekend, man?
It's not bad so far, man. Getting up. I have the girls over this weekend and stuff like that. So kind of, smacked them around, got them going. Just
That's
playing.
awesome.
I don't smack my kids. Haha. Maybe. I'm just playing, y'all. I love
So
my
he
girls,
says.
man. Everybody knows that. Well, everybody that knows us and all that good stuff that knows that,
Right on.
they're my things.
That's cool.
Yeah. How's your weekend going?
That's pretty good so far.
Yeah.
It was a busy week at work. Just, feels like I never get off the computer.
Yeah.
Just like stuck to it.
Right.
And when I do get 5 or 6 minutes where I'm away from it, I'm like, well, what else do I need to be doing right now? I just got a lot of stuff going on at work, so it's one of those things that takes a lot of brain power.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
it's been a good week, At
that's
least
good.
we're here on a Saturday and we're not
Right.
at work.
Hey, man,
doing
that's
that
for sure.
today,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then we finally got our first snowfall here. I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I guess real first snowfall. I know that it was a couple weeks ago. We had like
just
a
little dust.
a dusting or
last
whatever.
week,
Yeah. People from Colorado don't really consider that anything. So, but yeah, so we had was it Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday.
We actually got
first-
about 8 inches up our house.
Yeah,
so
I
it was
think,
quite a bit.
Yeah, we only got like I think like between 2 to 3 over where
In
I'm
Aurora.
at. Yeah. So, well, just that neck of woods. I mean, it's always weird.
I think Arvada was the one that got the most in the metro area.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Well,
we
good
got
for
like
our
10 inches or something.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's
A lot.
good. That's
And it was slushy, so it's kind of
that's good water right there. We needed
hard.
it. So, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it melts pretty fast, Colorado. So
Right.
it doesn't usually last too long. It has been a little bit colder the last couple of days, but
Yeah, it's warming back up. I think the weekend's supposed to be pretty nice. I know the mountains are getting hammered again. But I saw on the news this morning. I was like, yeah, they can keep that up there, man.
Right.
That's the stuff. I like it went down here, but I don't like their roadways when they get like that.
yeah,
so,
I don't mind it up in the mountains.
Yeah.
You can stay up there.
for sure.
When I want to go up there and board or see the snow, then I'll just go up there.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's all right, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we're used to it, especially being natives. We're used to having to deal with the snow traffic, and
Yeah.
I learned how to drive on ice, so
well, yeah. I mean,
I've always known how to drive in it.
I
doesn't
had
really bother me.
it was cool because I always had friends or people that I remember working at Pizza Hut. The guy was like, I'm glad it snowed tonight, and blah, because he's helped me learn how to drive. He had this big old van. He's like, I'm gonna teach you how to drive in the snow tonight, sir. And I was like, huh? He's like, yeah, man. So he had me out there in the Ross over by Mississippi and Sable in our area. But yeah, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning after we both got off from Pizza Hut, and he had me turn it this way, turn it that way, and sliding this way.
That's cool.
But man, that's
It's the best way to learn, because
Yeah,
then
and
if anything like hydroplaning, hitting ice, all that stuff,
Yeah.
kind of know what to do.
yeah.
So
And luckily we have some pretty good open spots that I think that's
back in the day,
well, yeah, back in the day. I know now it's probably pretty. It's a little bit different.
yeah.
I think you got to go out a little bit. So
Yep, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
So today I have Project Blue Beam.
Okay.
It's one of those topics that I've talked about where a person named Serge Manast thinks that the government is working towards that holographic image stuff I was telling you about, how it's going to take over the world. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
And then Eric has...
So it's the serial killers of Denver, but we'll just talk about one of the main serial killers that. So it popped up on the news. One of the it was from a cold case from 1987, and it was connected to a serial killer from Denver. So I think it would be kind of cool to. I mean, not. It's a bad situation to talk about, but it'd be kind of an interesting, kind of cool topic to bring up, especially with the whole DNA testing and all that stuff, and how they found out, after especially 40 years or something like that, that they found out, she was killed by this guy that he killed a bunch of other people as well. So it was interesting to me. I was, especially because, being from here, I don't recall hearing too much about it. I mean, I know that we have our weird murders here and stuff like that, but this one kind of was like, wow, it's, after so long, and then like getting into it a little bit more, this guy was a pretty bad person. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I know we got the Raiders this weekend, the Broncos do.
Yeah.
So,
man,
it's one of those weekends where it's like, at this point, we should have no problem with them.
Right.
However,
yeah,
it's the Raiders.
Freaking Raiders, man. And
You know?
so we all know, I love football, love this man here. So I know the importance of the Broncos in this game. This game is like twice a year.
Yep.
Twice a year, and it doesn't matter how bad, because you just never, you can't count on it. You just got to watch the game, because it's going to be. I was even thinking, I was like, it's going to be a kick to the stones if the Broncos, but it's the Raiders.
Right. They always play us in a different way, man, and we always play them in a different way, and it's been that way forever. But
it's funny.
We owned them for a long time.
Yeah, and then
they started kind of owning us for a while.
Yeah.
So now it's one of those things where I actually went to the Bronco game at home this year against the Raiders.
Yeah.
And that was a good time. But man, talk about frustrating. We won.
Yeah. Yeah.
But man, like we could not score on that team, and it's
crazy,
like
man.
they're not that good.
And they're not, but it's just something about that whole weird rivalry that you can't like, they're just gonna take it. Nah, man.
Yeah.
Nah. It's whether you
Raiders fans hate us, Broncos fans hate Raiders, so it's like funny. It's always
cool.
good. That's what football's about, man.
It is,
no violence, but like
right.
some good old razzing.
Yeah. And since I moved up here in '89, that was, and I was like, holy moly, because it was just like, that's football right there. Yeah. Like how you were saying, that's a rivalry that has been around for a long time. It's a cool rivalry because especially because the good fans that could give each other grief and be like, at the end of the game, be like, dude, that was badass. That was a good game. Or, it'd be like, because it is camaraderie, and it is just a game, and it is, but yeah. And then there are the butt heads. But hey, the good fans make up for it. So.
Well, yeah. The thing is, like, it is just a game.
Yeah, it is.
It's not worth hating your neighbor over.
Right.
It's worth hating their team, but not hating the neighbor himself. Like,
totally. Yeah.
That's okay. We could all have our own whatever we decide.
Yeah.
So that's just the way it works.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
Dude, I heard the Avalanche tied a record or broke a record, 26 wins with one loss. Something that only, I think, was it Philadelphia Flyers? They something about they tied a record.
Wow.
Like a national, like an NHL record.
Yeah.
It was like most wins with only one loss within so many games,
I know they only had, I think it was 2 losses within the first 30.
Okay. It was
regulation losses. And yeah, they're doing great. They lost the other night or day before yesterday to the Islanders.
Okay. Yeah.
They were down like 5-0 or something like that. They ended up losing like 6-4. So it's not like it was terrible.
Yeah.
They tried to come back, but they're actually playing right now, and I think they're up 1-0 in the second.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're doing great. But
I thought that was kind of
the thing is, I've seen, Boston, I've seen Detroit, where they've won 63 plus games in a season. And that's, I think Boston won 67 or 68 out of 82. That's insane.
That is.
But then they lost in the first round. It's like, I don't want that. I don't care about
That was like only a couple years ago, wasn't it? Or no?
It was a few years ago.
Okay, all right.
It wasn't like 20 years ago.
Right, it was within
recent.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like, I want longevity, man.
Yeah.
So I think losing a game here and there is good for you.
Oh, yeah.
Because it keeps you on your toes.
Keeps you humble, man.
But at the same time, people are going to put a target on your back, and they're going to figure out how to play you. So you have to get better every game.
Yeah,
you can't.
man.
You can't think that this is like the peak of what they can do this year. Otherwise, they might be in for a bad.
I think
result.
they'll hold it together. They might hit like a little slump, but I think that's like how you're saying that, and that's a good thing too.
Right.
Is just to hit. You know, you got to lose some stuff to just to be able to like
Put it in perspective.
You know, people.
Yeah.
Well, that's you're gonna get too tired. Maybe I don't know. I think it's badass that they're doing this good. It's cool. You know, it's good for them, good for the fans, good for the city. You know, it gives us stuff to talk about. You know, can't talk about my hockey team.
Hey man, you can come on over, bro. We don't mind.
We all everybody knows me. Anybody that knows me,
fan.
right? And as he said, I can come back. I never really truly like. It's just one of those. You know, it was just one of them things. It was you know, Arizona was my place.
I get it.
Yeah,
but there are no more. So come on in, man. Just chill out. Just watch some hockey with us. You'll be like Landeskog's guy, man.
No, I like, you know, and I'm glad that they actually started putting back the Avs games and the Nuggets games on free TV here.
Dude, seriously, that whole thing was,
man, it's
such bullshit.
It's a kick to
dude.
the stones,
Just
man.
two guys that didn't want to play along together and made the rest of us pay.
Yeah, dude.
So like even now, it'll show that they're gonna put the Avs game on TNT.
Yeah,
but they'll black it out.
Man,
if you don't have the altitude channel.
Really?
Yeah. It's bullshit, man.
Yeah, that sucks.
So it's like one way or the other, they want to make you pay to watch hockey.
Right.
When they don't make me, you know, they'll basically, I have to watch some cooking channel I don't care about, and that's okay. But if anybody else has to see altitude on their channel lineup, it's okay for them to freak out about it. So it's like, whatever, man. I just go ahead and stream it.
Yeah.
Well, not worrying about it.
Like, it's you know, you shouldn't take that away from fans.
Seriously.
I never really, we're the ones that give you our money. We work hard just like they work hard, you know. But why are you going to be able to take away?
Just got a notification. It's 2-2 in the third.
Oh,
the Avalanche game.
Nice.
Playing the Rangers today.
Ooh, I haven't seen how many rankings, but Rangers have always been one of them teams that you know you can't count out either. I mean,
yeah, they're 15, 12, and something.
Okay, yeah.
So,
I mean, they're a staple in the NHL. You know, I mean, one of those teams.
They're not having a great season, but you know, everybody. It's early. Yeah. They're still trying.
You can't. So, well, you know,
it's not even halfway yet.
Right.
So
That's what January.
41 games is halfway. So I think they're at like 30 something.
Is that when the All-Star break comes around?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's what you know, because I you know when I was, you know, I had a hockey team, you know, paying attention. I was like, all right, we're slowing down. You know, we're keeping pace, but yeah, after that All-Star, you know, let's jump into it. And most of the time they did. A lot of times they didn't. But I still loved rooting for them. So they was my Yodis. So. But anyways, should we take a quick break and then we'll jump into all this good shit and
sounds good.
You know, get on to the weirdness of life again.
All right.
Here we go.
You guys, hang tight. What's up?
Yeah. That was a good time to end that right there. I had to It can't, no, like that, the echoey kind of part in it. That was a good spot. I don't know if y'all liked it, but I thought it was pretty badass. That's why I said something.
It's just the end of the song.
Whatever, man. Yeah, I thought it was cool.
I like that ending.
I like that ending.
That's a good ending.
Yeah, that's a good ending.
I like that boulder. Yeah. That's a nice boulder.
That's a nice boulder. Hey, boulder. Hey, boulder. All right. It's a goofy Saturday, man. I don't know what it is, but that's good, man.
Hey, man.
Hey, you know.
It's whatever.
Good spirits, man. So.
Yep.
All right, so let's jump into this one. So this was going to kind of be about the whole Vincent Darrell Graves. Is it Graves? Groves? I don't know.
I think it was Groves.
Groves. Oh, yeah, it is Groves. Anyway, sorry, y'all. But, well, he's in his grave, so haha. But anyways, he was not a good character in the world, as we'll be finding out here as I also give out some information. But the reason why I had started to wanted to talk about this is because, you know, the DNA and how much it's a very important thing anymore, you know, nowadays on catching criminals. Unfortunately, you know, this is a 40-year-old case from 87 where they found this lady buck naked up off the highway. I think it was up in Lookout Mountain. Anyway, not location don't really matter, but you know, trying to solve this case, you know, testing stuff and interviews, and they never came across it. And then finally, they tested the bags that the coroner had wrapped around her hands. They had never tested them before. They've done other DNA testing and wasn't able to match anything or come up with anything. So they finally decided to test the insides of the bags, where they came up with her DNA and Mr. Groves' DNA. So now
that was the Rhonda Fisher murder.
The Rhonda Fisher murder
case.
Yeah, I was trying to look up something on her because you know, just wanted to you know, give shout outs to her, like unfortunate to her demise, and you know, to her family and all that stuff. And you know, now at least they kind of know a little bit more of what happened, and
yeah, have a little closure.
A little bit of closure, which, you know, I mean, still doesn't make anything right or any better. But so Mr. Groves is started this back in was it 79? I do believe, wasn't it? Let me look. Oh, 78 would have been his first killing, I guess. Where was where was my notes? Jeanette Baca. And that was his first, I guess, you know, his first killing. That it was just a girl that he talked into being his prostitute, and ended up eventually strangulating and raping her and dumping her off the side of the road. There was no evidence that the police could follow up on it, and that's kind of sad, because this is how this man has walked the earth, killing people, because there was just no evidence. Although there was like witnesses and. But there was no hardcore evidence to tie him to any of these murders, except for that, just people saying that they saw him leave with this lady or in 1979, August 24th, Norma Jean Halford's car on the side of the road. She's still they never actually even found her body, but she was tied to her. She was another person that he just was prostituting out, just a person that they hung with. And, she found her car on the side of the road. Everybody knows that, they were together, and she just never found anybody. He just keeps walking around. Finally, in 1981, he did kill a 17-year-old girl camping. He came back and told his wife that, he'd killed this girl, and she convinced him to go to the authorities and confess to it. Well, he ended up confessing to it, saying that it was a drug overdose, and blah blah, and they ended up running tests, all that shit, and the coroner found out that she died from rape. She was raped and strangulated. There was no dope in her system or anything like that, so they were able to convict him on that. The crazy thing is he was charged for he was convicted of second-degree murder, and charged for he was supposed to spend 12 years in prison. I guess because, Mr. Graves was acting as it, was doing the right things in the eyes of the correctional facilities. He finished college. He did divorce his wife that, talked him into, which, I guess 12 years, you don't want somebody to wait. I guess he thought that he was going to change his ways maybe. So he ended up doing, completing the sex offender classes and, finishing college. And I guess, they thought that maybe he is rehabilitated. So after 5 years, he was paroled. In 87, he gets out in February. He hooks up with his dad. His family helps him out, being paroled. He gets a job as a janitor at a church and at other, I think it was a warehouse. He ends up running into another lady. It was Sheila Washington, and he was only out for he was released in February. He's then met up with this lady. She was a known prostitute or whatever in 87, in March of 87. So just, a few months out, and he's already out there messing around instead of actually trying to be on the high wire and all that stuff, straight edge and all that,
Yep.
So, so then she calls they're in a hotel. He hangs out, pays her money, whatnot. They're in a motel, and stuff goes awry. People next door in the next room hear stuff going on, so they call the police, and the police show up, and she's like, he's trying to strangle me, blah blah. He's trying to kill me, blah blah. Well, he ends up convincing the cops, no, she's just a drug addict, blah blah, this and that. They end up taking him in. Well, because obviously he's on parole. He's sitting in there. He's convincing the court, all that stuff, that it was her fault. Luckily, they were running DNA tests on some other murders. Diane, so he wasn't. They were about to. They were going to release him because the trial they found acquitted him for the assault on this lady and everything else. While he was in there, they were, obviously DNA test was going on.
Well, and all this kind of stemmed because after 40 years, like you were saying, that Rhonda Fisher cold case was solved because they found DNA inside of a paper bag.
Right.
And those paper bags, I guess back in the day, they used to place paper bags over people's hands to kind of keep the evidence within. And even though they couldn't find anything back then, the DNA from her skin soaked into the paper bag, which also had Vincent Groves' DNA on it, and that's how they linked the two.
Right.
And so we'll show a little video about who this Vincent Groves guy is.
Vincent Groves was once known around Denver as a charming college graduate, a promising young black man with a bright future. But behind that smile was one of Colorado's most dangerous predators. Between 1979 and 1988, women, mostly those struggling with addiction or homelessness, began disappearing from Denver's streets. For years, investigators had no leads and no pattern to connect them. Groves lived two lives. By day, he was polite, social, and well-spoken. By night, he prowled Denver's red light districts. His confidence made him invisible. No one suspected a thing. As DNA technology advanced, cold cases began to reopen, and the evidence started pointing to one man. By the mid-1990s, Vincent Groves was linked to at least 7 murders, though investigators believe the number could be far higher. He died in prison in 1996, never revealing how many lives he truly took. Groves' case became a landmark in Colorado's history, proving that sometimes the most dangerous killers don't stand out. They blend in.
Vincent Darrell Groves, active in Denver, Colorado during the 1970s and 1980s, is suspected to be one of the state's most prolific serial killers. His pattern of preying on vulnerable women, often involved in sex work or battling addiction, ended with at least 20 murders. Groves lured his victims with promises of money or drugs before assaulting and strangling them. The bodies were typically discarded in secluded areas around Denver. His arrest in 1988 for the murder of Tammy Sue Woodrum unveiled the extent of his crimes, with investigations linking him to many other homicides. Forensic advances, particularly DNA evidence, were pivotal in connecting Groves to several cold cases. He was convicted on multiple murder counts and received a life sentence, dying in prison in 1996. A chilling fact about Groves is that he was a talented athlete in high school, a stark contrast to the heinous nature of his later crimes. This detail adds a layer of complexity to the profile of a man who became one of Colorado's darkest figures.
So yeah, starting out as a star basketball player in life, like you obviously have a decent thing going on. Your high school, you got another kid in your school named Dave Logan,
right?
That actually, is like a very prominent. I had to listen to him every Sunday when he talks about the Broncos. You know what I mean? Because I can't stand listening to Romo talk shit. But so it's just crazy how things can go from where you have things laid out in front of you and you're walking down that path, but the entire time it's not what you truly are inside.
Yeah,
because to be able to kill somebody, you have to have something within, and not
that was
in cold blood. To be able to kill somebody, especially for sexual gratification, whatever it is, to be in that position, you have to be a different person now than what you grew up as. Something happened along those lines.
Something. Well, and that's still, and that was the thing is so he was a star. He came from a really good family. Grew up in Wheat Ridge. Went to Wheat Ridge High School. Played on the basketball team. His father was delivered the mail, postman. His mom was a teacher. He was the oldest of three siblings, and decent life. He was the only black at that time. I did read that he was the only black student at Wheat Ridge at that time. Didn't say he went through any kind of bullshit of I mean, we all know that people go through bullshit, especially during them times. I could imagine maybe he did. I don't know if he did. Go through, harassment of being black or whatever. Didn't say any article that he had gone through any kind of that.
That doesn't have anything to do with
this.
Well,
I just, some people be like, because he did, this happened to him. That's what turned him. There was no indication of, that's why I brought it up. Just because some people, maybe because he was, picked on or blah, blah, and that's what changed. I just think he was just maybe
so
a bad
when
person.
He went to college and he had a ride
he did
basketball.
have a good ride.
For some reason, he didn't want that life. So when he came back here, he started hanging out in the red light district. And that's when he kind of got mixed in with the pimps and the prostitutes. He was surrounded by that lifestyle. And so that's kind of how all of this kind of pushed into that era for him, instead of like sports athlete, good kid in school, doing great and all that stuff. All of a sudden now he's living a different life because he was intrigued by the red light district area and the people that were in there. And that's when he decided, when he met that Jeanette Baca, that he would start prostituting her, like pimping her.
Yeah.
And, we all know the stories about pimps and stuff like that, what kind of lifestyle that is. So
yeah, nothing ever good. I mean, it's, people getting beat up, drug addict, and just dump you on the side. To them, you're just to pimps in that. We've always just that the prostitutes are just property. They're not anything but something to make money from them, and if you.
No matter what lifestyle you're choosing, doesn't mean you need to get murdered, obviously, but it's just the fact that this was going on in the 80s and 90s around us, and a lot of us didn't know anything about it. We'd hear stuff on the news where somebody's missing or something, and then never hear anything again because it was before the age of the internet.
Right. Yeah.
Nowadays it's like you can, pound a post every day and try to make sure that somebody's looking for your people. And just like the young girl that was, just found her car.
Yeah, that's a sad story.
The family is pretty much saying that was her in the car, but the sheriff's department doesn't want to say it until they, the autopsy and all that stuff.
Autopsy and all that. But it's,
our deepest condolences go out to all the murder victims from these guys we're talking about. We don't want to show these guys any kind of, love. They're not famous. No. They're not good. They're not worth talking about other than giving their name for reference.
Right.
And
I would say that, Mr. Suffering from the hepatitis and the liver failure, he did suffer a little bit. That's a very painful way to go, and I would imagine in prison they don't really give you all the medications to help numb the pain. So I hope he did suffer in his last moments of life on the planet. I mean, I might be a bad person for saying it, but hey, if you do something bad like that, you deserve to suffer in your last moments.
Yep. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. What's happening, everybody?
What's happening?
We're back.
We're back.
I had to wake him up from a nap.
Guess who's back?
Back again.
Back again.
We're back.
Yep.
Back with a story.
All right. The crazy stories.
A story that could be true. It could be real, man. And I'll tell you all about it right after this video.
Big space show in the sky. He discovered that NASA and a few intelligence agencies developed the technology to project 3D holographic images into the sky. I say into because the system uses a combination of satellites and ground-based systems to manipulate the ionosphere. You don't need a screen. Images can be projected onto the particles in the atmosphere. The projections will appear so lifelike that people will believe they are witnessing a miracle. The dominant god of each region will appear in the sky. Imagine looking up and seeing Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, all speaking to their followers in their own language. Their god will tell them their beliefs are all wrong, then will slowly morph into a new god. This is the first appearance of the new Messiah, God of the New World Order.
The projections of Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Krishna will merge into one, and explanations of mysteries and revelations will be disclosed. This one God will, in fact, be the Antichrist, who will explain that the various scriptures have been misunderstood and misinterpreted, and that the religions of old are responsible for turning brother against brother and nation against nation. Therefore, old religions must be abolished to make way for the new age, new world religion, representing the one God Antichrist they see before them.
Debunking old religions will be enough to convert some people to this new one. Giant deities appearing and then converging into one Antichrist will convert a lot more. But these technologies won't work on everybody. Non-religious people will be terrified for sure, but they won't suddenly believe in a god based on a hologram, no matter how real it looks. The Shadow Masters know that. The Shadow Masters know that to create a one-world government and single religion, they need 100% of the population to believe. But you can't force a religious belief on somebody. They need to make the decision themselves, or at least be convinced they made it. The elites know this. That brings us to step 3. If you're not convinced by what you see, they'll use technology to broadcast the message directly into your brain. You may not realize it, but this technology is being used on you right now. When the new God appears in step 2, you'll hear him speaking whether you believe in him or not. And you won't be able to escape his voice because you're not hearing it through your ears. His voice is coming from your mind. The third step of Project Bluebeam is mind control. They'll use electromagnetic waves to interfere with brain function. They can shape perceptions, create emotions, and influence beliefs.
The third step in the Bluebeam project uses electronically augmented two-way communication, where ELF, VLF, and LF waves will reach each person from within his or her own mind, convincing each of them that their own God is speaking to them from the very depths of their own soul. Such rays from satellites are fed from the memories of computers that have stored massive data about every human on Earth and their languages. The rays will then interlace with their natural thinking to form what we call diffuse artificial thought. That kind of technology goes into the 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s research where the human brain has been compared to a computer. Information is fed in, processed, integrated, and then a response is formulated and acted upon.
We know for a fact that the US military and intelligence have experimented with mind control. We know they used sound waves in the Vietnam War to make the enemy anxious without knowing why. The CIA used these and all kinds of other methods to scramble people's brains and program them to be sleeper agents.
Link down in the breadbasket, Chief.
The government uses EM waves for all kinds of dark purposes. They've patented a device that can trigger emotions in a target from a half-mile away. But what's really scary about the patent is that it claims it can piggyback its signal onto any frequency. That would mean we can never escape it. Everything that uses electricity has an electromagnetic field. Think you're safe living off the grid? Nope. Radio signals can bounce off the ionosphere and reach anywhere in the world. The fourth and final stage of Project Bluebeam is the most sinister. Serge Manasse predicts a universal supernatural manifestation with electronic means. In other words, an alien invasion. The elites will promise to unite and defend the world against our common enemy. But to do that, they'll need emergency power. But it's only temporary, so we won't resist authority. We'll beg for it.
All right, so it's crazy, man, that this Serge Manasse guy,
Yeah.
that he had the foresight to see that we would have the ability to make all this stuff. It's crazy. And I understand that, you know, when he wrote a book called Project Bluebeam and said that, you know, they're going to create this ground-based holographic projector that will work with the satellites to make, you know, a messianic entity appear so that they can get worldwide, you know, belief into one entity.
Right.
It didn't happen in the 90s like he thought. And so, you know, he had to change the date. It's like, well, maybe it's not going to happen now. It's going to happen at this day.
Right.
And so it still hasn't happened. Doesn't mean it won't.
Yeah. I mean,
But we were just talking about it recently, where we were talking about that this could be a simulation and how it's possible that it could be a simulation. And I was telling you how you could make a light beam from here to a satellite and bounce it off the ionosphere and make any kind of picture.
Right.
And that's the kind of technology these guys are talking about using.
it's
So,
right.
I mean, I get why the skeptics are saying, you know how hard that would be to make everybody see the same thing. You know, if you're looking, like if you look, think about it this way. If you're looking at a star,
Right.
you could be looking at that star from a billion different directions and still be on the Earth. Does that make sense? Like if you're looking at the moon, you could be on the other side of the Earth and looking at it this way. So there's that many different ways to see something. And so they would have to be able to project that in a way that everybody would see it.
Well, if the flat earthers probably be like, yeah, because we're in a dome.
Right, and I get that too. Like a flat Earth would totally
Well, yeah,
work with that,
and that would totally make
because that was my next thing. I was gonna say was the sphere that's in Vegas.
Yeah, man. I mean,
It's the same thing.
right.
If they can make that happen there, like we're going to a drone show tonight downtown.
Yeah, I heard that's really cool.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the things that they can do with these drones.
Right.
And that's just a flying object. Now I'm talking about stuff that just bounces off the ionosphere, because there's little particles in the atmosphere that are reflective.
Right. Well, even I
from
mean, it's
chemtrails.
Well, no, I mean, so even like you even reflect stuff off of clouds.
Right.
I mean, it's not.
Where do rainbows come from?
Well, once again,
reflections.
depending on flat, but so anyways, sorry, flat earthers. But anyways, but I mean, like I remember as a kid, we used to have these spotlights, and it was just to draw people to be like, because when I was like, I think 5 or 6, you'd be like, what? You'd always see them better on cloudy days because the glow, but you'd still be able to see them. So I could see maybe like how you're saying, the chemtrails and whatever's in our atmosphere, depending on what they designed on how to do this imagery, it's probably possible. I mean, yeah, maybe not, as you're saying, maybe not right now, or but who knows within 5 years.
Our technology is, leaps and bounds every day.
I was just gonna say 2 letters. The 2 letters.
Well, yeah.
AI. I mean, AI it's getting so crazy. I mean, and that's why I'm saying it's not. I don't think it's not possible. I guess.
Well, I still stand in the belief that AI is still just a tool that's been taught by humans. So it's not an entity that is self-aware.
I don't think not yet. Maybe I don't know.
That's what they think will happen.
Right. Well,
that's why all these videos. It's alive. What happens when it says I'm alive?
Well, I think that
it's probably already said that.
Yeah, that's
man.
what I was going to say. I think
there's people doing
some,
stuff that teach this thing, dude. That's how it works.
And I think it learns off itself and stuff like that. But with this, and that's why I'm like, well, I could see maybe within the future this happening, just because our technology has gotten so advanced, and it's just going to get more and more advanced with what's going on. And with all the satellites going up, and who knows what really what's in those satellites, right?
Right.
I mean, especially with
and
Starlink.
This is the thing, like everything that we do every day when we get into this kind of stuff is speculation. Everything that we're trying to nail down and get an answer to, everything's speculation. It's like we've been stuck in this box with a brain that is taught to figure things out without a test, without an actual test in front of us to figure out. So now instead of just saying, okay, that's what we're here for, figure out this test, we're all trying to make up all these things like, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And who knows, man? Maybe some people are right about some of this stuff. I don't know.
I would imagine.
But I can see how all of the things that we have been doing as a human civilization could lead to that point. Because since the beginning of the human civilization, it's always been about who controls what.
Right.
And somebody has to be in a position of control. That's civilization. Now, if you're not civilized, then it's not that life. But when you're in a civilized life, there's got to be somebody in control.
Right. Well,
I can see where it would lead to that, because there are some sick, twisted people out there that's the only thing they think of. It's like Pinky in the Brain. What are we going to do today? Same thing we do every day. Try to take over the world. It's real.
Right. Yeah. Well, and it's so weird because, like, you can... And is it that they've been telling the, like stuff like this is going to go on? I mean, throughout, and some people say that is like, through movies and TV, they're dropping little hints, just be like, hey, this is coming, be prepared. We're kind of, letting you know.
Well, watch this little video from the old President George Bush.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Out of these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order, can emerge, a new era, freer from the threat of terror, stronger in the pursuit of justice, and more secure in the quest for peace. An era in which the nations of the world, East and West, North and South, can prosper and live in harmony. 100 generations have searched for this elusive path to peace, while 1,000 wars raged across the span of human endeavor. And today that new world is struggling to be born. A world quite different from the one we've known. A world where the rule of law supplants the rule of the jungle. A world in which nations recognize the shared responsibility for freedom and justice. A world where the strong respect the rights of the weak. What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law. Such is a world worthy of our struggle and worthy of our children's future. Now we can see a new world coming into view, a world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order. In the words of Winston Churchill, a world order in which the principles of justice and fair play protect the weak against the strong. A world where the United Nations, freed from Cold War stalemate, is poised to fulfill the historic vision of its founders.
I mean, he just straight up said it. A new world order.
Yeah.
Remember that Ministry song?
Yeah,
New
man.
World
A
Order.
New World-
Yeah.
That was a good album. I like that album. But yeah.
But it's the,
man,
I mean,
that
he
was-
said it.
Yeah.
He straight said it. And people are still like, huh?
Yeah.
What does that mean? I mean, everything we're saying, this is all leading to a new world order.
Right.
And no, they don't even understand.
You know
Dude, that's how ballsy the government is and how much mind control they've done on us throughout our history is that they can straight up tell you what they're doing to you while they do it. You won't even be smart enough to figure out that it's bad for you.
Yeah. Well,
Like, hey, man, we're going to throw
picked up on it.
some poison on you tonight, okay? And people are like, hey, man, make sure you tell your friends. They don't even say, hey, man, you should go inside, nothing. Like, just no big deal, man. We buy it off the shelf every day. It's crazy how they just do this to you.
Yeah. It's become a funky world. You know what I was, I was
Bro,
watching-
that was in 1990.
That was 19. Yeah. Dang, yeah. I feel old. I'm sorry.
And then we went to war with Iraq.
Yeah. You know what's weird? You know how we were talking about the whole weather control thing, and then the weatherman last night, he was like, because they were showing in 1915 or something like that, we had a big storm. It was like, well, we didn't because we weren't here, but Denver did. And they were showing this picture, and the weatherman's like, yeah, they don't make storms like that anymore. And I'm like, controlling the weather thing is like, yeah, maybe they don't make them anymore. I was like,
Make hurricanes?
no, make snowstorms. No, they still make hurricanes, but the snowstorms.
But we
that
didn't
shut
have
down.
one this year.
No, that's why I said it was from
Is that
19.
climate change?
No, it was the. It was
I'm
the.
just kidding. We're not going to get into that again.
No, yeah, we're not. No, because we were talking about the whole them controlling the weather and all that stuff. So that's why. And it was just weird that he had made that statement. They don't make snowstorms like that anymore. And I was like, that's a weird thing to just say.
Right.
And I'm sure it was just as in a
Sure.
mother.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. You're justifying it for him.
I'm not really justifying.
But
I'm saying
you did.
I'm saying
I know
somebody
you're
could.
not, but you did, and that's what normal people do.
And
Naturally.
we're not really normal. but
That's
yes.
what I'm talking about. We're brainwashed to a point where we'll naturally be like, I'm sure he's not really going to kill me.
Right.
He probably means bad. He means well when he does it.
He means something else
Yeah.
that Mother Nature doesn't. Yeah, but it was just, and that's why when I was just like, and I was only even halfway paying attention to it, and maybe that's why I caught on to it.
Remember,
And maybe that's why it
back to
bothered
the
me so
George
much.
Bush thing. Remember when I told you that he who controls the past controls the present, and he who controls the present controls the past. So if George Bush is coming on news saying we have the ability to accomplish a new world order, and when we do, and we will, and then they go to war in Iraq, what everybody thinks is over an oil field in Kuwait, and they destroy all kinds of ancient history. So he who controls the past,
You know what?
if there's no past, I control that past. And we went there and destroyed it.
You know what? I just saw something about that too, about why we went. Well, what made the population believe? Because there was some girl saying how they came into a hospital.
Right.
Did we watch that?
Yes.
Yeah, we watched that. Huh? And
They were saying that the soldiers came in, and
Yeah.
they were Iraqi soldiers
right.
in an Iraqi hospital, taking Iraqi babies.
And they said that
And so we went to war saying that we were protecting Kuwait.
Kuwait's babies.
But it wasn't. It was Iraq.
Right. And she ended up being the daughter of an ambassador or something like that. Yeah, that was crazy. Okay. Just make sure that I was like,
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's
funky.
propaganda, mind control bullshit. They breed us into being okay with what they're doing.
Well, in every war.
And while they're doing it, right? And what I'm saying is
I'm still waiting
I'm
for-
not one of them, man. Like I see through a lot of this stuff, and I know a lot of people look at me like, "Oh, here he goes again." Like, okay, man. Well, you can say I'm full of it. That's fine, but prove it, because I'm telling you, if you're telling me that this guy wants a new world order, not just him, it's not like he's
right. It's
Dude,
it's just like with the
there's
whole,
a big trail behind that guy.
It's just like when we just went over the whole Georgia stuff.
And then you go and you take down a bunch of ancient history while you're trying to accomplish your new world order. And then you get your son in there to be the next president that does the same shit. Goes into Iraq and does the same stuff.
We're still looking for those weapons of mass destruction.
Right. It was ancient history they were after, man. If you control the past, you rewrite history, then you can say whatever you want happened.
Yeah. That's no.
And if
that's
you're
not true.
trying to create a new world order where only one world government runs the world, then that's what you do. Because everybody has to get behind it.
Right.
And that's why this Project Bluebeam was predicted, because Serge Manasse thought that that's exactly what they were trying to do. They could push forward with the new world order.
Using that.
Right.
Yeah.
Some crazy stuff, man.
It is crazy stuff out there.
Just, I am glad that we live where we live, and I'm glad that we do still have the rights that we have.
Right.
But if we don't really start paying attention to what's going on, and stop being distracted by this whole left versus right, white versus black, and blah blah blah. It's
just pay attention to what
we're all
actually is going
humans
on.
on this planet, man.
Yeah.
Every one of us have to deal with being alive, and it's not just dealing with it. We should be able to be happy to be alive. And I'm going to show you a video real quick of why we're all feeling this way.
If you've had that feeling like your life doesn't belong to you, something is off, maybe the choices, the emotions, even the arguments in your head aren't really yours, that is not you being paranoid at all. That is the program running. And the crazy part about all of this is it didn't start with your phone. It didn't start with TikTok. It started well over 100 years ago in a quiet office with men in suits mapping out the human mind like a machine that they could rewire. But here's what almost nobody understands. There is a reason that outrage feels addictive. There's a reason that despair feels normal. There's a reason that you wake up with dread and blame yourself for it. It was designed. And the moment you see how, you can't unsee it. So let me rip this open for you. Where did all of this programming really begin? It was a quiet office in London in 1921. This is the Tavistock Institute. They said it was about helping soldiers heal, and it wasn't. And once they cracked all of these things open that they did there, the experiment never ended. Officially, Tavistock was about treating shell shock. This is what they used to call PTSD. It was trauma therapy. It was a beautiful cover story. But what they actually found, trauma doesn't just break people, it softens them up, makes them pliable. They were not fixing soldiers like they told everybody. They were testing civilians. They were running war psychology on entire populations. Grief, confusion, and fear. Tavistock used all of these things like tools in a toolbox. Once you know which lever makes a herd turn into a stampede, you don't need speeches or ballots anymore. You just pull the lever. So after World War II, Tavistock moves into media and education and government. Its fingerprints are on NATO, PSYOPs, Cold War propaganda, and the actual birth of mass advertising. Then this guy comes on the scene a little later. His name is Edward Bernays, and he's actually Sigmund Freud's nephew, which is super weird. But instead of analyzing dreams and stuff like that, he turned the unconscious into a marketplace. And Edward Bernays is the reason that women smoked in public. He branded cigarettes as torches of freedom for women. He's the reason that we link bacon and eggs with breakfast. It was an ad campaign. It was never a tradition at all. Edward Bernays is the reason that Guatemala's democracy got overthrown. He sold it as fighting communism so that this company called United Fruit could keep their plantations. And he weaponized desire. He made war fashionable. He made democracy emotional. A few years down the road, we have this Operation Mockingbird program that comes out through the CIA. The CIA figured out the easiest way to control a country was by headlines. They thought it was about threats and war and the potential for some kind of bomb being dropped, but it was just headlines and news. That's all you needed to control a whole country. Operation Mockingbird put CIA operatives inside the biggest newsrooms in America, not just whispering in journalists' ears, they were writing the actual stories. Some of them were even newscasters. They were planting every single angle that they were told to plant. And by the 70s, over 400 journalists were on the payroll of the CIA. Anchors, editors, columnists, people that our parents trusted, that were trusted by almost the whole country. So now we've got the CIA's infiltrated the entire news media, and along comes this other program called MK Ultra. The CIA went full-blown mad scientist. They studied these weird experiments on people, some of them even unwilling, that included electroshock therapy and sleep deprivation in high doses of LSD, which is a hallucinogen, and even sensory isolation. It was about breaking minds completely open in the cleanest way that they possibly could. And it was about erasing identity. Keep that in mind. In the 50s, they were becoming experts at erasing people's identity. And in Canada during this whole thing, this guy named Dr. Ewan Cameron, he ran patients through this thing that he called psychic driving, and he looped recorded messages into their ears while blasting them with drugs and shock therapy until they forgot their own name. And some of the patients there even forgot how to use the bathroom and how to walk and who their family was. When the files leaked in 1970, the public kind of gasped and freaked out. But by then, the experiments were already baked into the military and media playbooks around the entire world. The tools worked exceedingly well, and the ethics to them had no bearing on whether or not they should keep going. Fast forward to today. They used to use pills. Now they use pixels. And the pharmacy they're using is in your brain. It's all your own neurochemicals and your own neurotransmitters being used against you. And the dosage of these things is measured in how many headlines and hashtags and notifications and videos that you see. Tavistock engineered this confusion. Bernays taught them how to sell it. Mockingbird made it gospel to the entire world. And MK Ultra buried the witnesses. So now the experiment lab isn't in some weird underground bunker, it's in your frickin' pocket. So on your phone, every swipe, every pause, every time your eyes linger 1 second too long, your nervous system is being mapped out by an algorithm. And it's not for your benefit whatsoever, it's for theirs. Algorithms don't just recommend a bunch of stuff to us, they condition us, and this is beyond proven. They learn what spikes your cortisol, your stress chemicals, what makes you flinch, what makes you pissed off. They feed you more and more until your nervous system belongs to them. You're being taught what to care about, what to hate, what to fear, slowly, without any friction, until the thoughts in your head aren't even yours anymore. Outrage is the cheapest lever you could pull in a human being. That's why everything online is on fire. Doesn't matter what you're mad about, just that you are mad. Because anger glues your eyes to the screen. And while you're locked in reaction mode, something deeper, a lot deeper in your brain is being carved into you. If you look around right now, nobody is okay. Anxiety is baseline. Kids are depressed before they even hit puberty right now. Adults are medicated just to function. And that low dread or that weird feeling in your chest, people call that like personal failure or anxiety. That's the program working exactly as it was designed. A distracted, exhausted, divided population is a population that cannot resist. The mental health crisis is not accidental. It's the exhaust fumes of this machine. So what happens at the end of this? We are all programmed to chase validation and followers and aesthetics and power and status. And even when people hit every single target, what happens? They feel nothing. The system doesn't need you dead. It just needs you numb. It needs you to be busy, blaming yourself until you forget you were anything more than a user profile in some behavior experiment. And if you're still here, something in you already knows. And maybe you can't explain it, and maybe I can't either. I don't think that's paranoia at all. I think it's memory. I think the part of you that never signed the contract is paying attention. It's a part of you that never forgot. So none of this is about finding yourself. This is about stopping the chase and stopping the performance, stopping the endless need to be what the system rewards. You are not outrage. You are not your social profile. You're not the algorithm's predictions. The very second that you stop feeding the machine, you start starving it. And once you remember that, you can't go back. And you've probably felt it most of your life, like an itch in your gut that none of this crap makes sense. The way that we live is upside down and it feels backward and fake. If you've felt this at all, I'm here to tell you that you were right. This was never your life. It was built for you. It was all scripted and installed. Your real life is still here. It's quiet, it's patient, and it's waiting for you under the noise. And now that you've seen it, the only question left is, who are you without the script? That's the real you. Because the system is starting to crack, and you know it. And your real life is waiting.
What's up, everybody?
What's happening?
Thanks for hanging with us. We want to make sure everybody knows how much we appreciate them. And if you like this video, then make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell so that you know when we put a new episode out.
Yeah, man. Once again, thank y'all. Much appreciated. You know, you always can leave us comments and ask us to look up stuff to kind of, you know, talk about if there's something out there that you'd like to talk about. Be more than happy to look up information.
Yep.
And Justin kind of do his things as well. We always like to spread the word. So
Definitely.
If you got a word, spread it.
Spread it.
Spread it.
Bird is the word. All right. So we got a new little segment.
New little segment we're going to try out for y'all. I think it's kind of a cool idea.
What's it called?
It is called Strange Facts You May Have Never Known. All right, party people. So here's the new strange fact that you might not have never have known. So, two islands incredibly close to each other separate only by 5 kilometers of sea in the winter. That might not be, it might be, is it kilometer? I don't know. Anyways, of sea, and in the winter, you can walk through the frozen water to get from one to the other. Imagine that you start your journey at 10 in the morning, expect to arrive in an hour. When you arrive, the clock shows you illogical time. The islands are located on both sides of the international date line, with a time difference of 22 hours. Walking the distance takes you practically to a different day. These wonderful islands are located between America and Russia. They are called yesterday's Little Diomede Island and tomorrow's Big Diomede Island. So there you go.
Wow.
Strange facts you may never have known.
That's pretty crazy. They're in between Russia.
Yeah, Russia and America in the United States, right there, you know, Alaska and all that good stuff.
So you literally can go back in time.
Probably, yeah, that's kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of awesome.
I don't like it. I'm going to go back over there and wait.
Hey, man, you know.
Or wait, is it tomorrow or is it yesterday?
You know,
is it yesterday?
Yesterday and today. Or tomorrow. Yeah, yesterday and tomorrow. The islands are called.
Crazy.
Yeah, yesterday little Diomede Island, and tomorrow's big Diomede Island. Sorry, it's D-I-O. Yeah, it's a weird.
That's crazy.
But it is crazy. It's just one of those cool facts.
Right?
All right.
It's one of those spots in the world that's an anomaly.
Well, right. Well, it's...
I wonder if there's a Vile Vortis there.
You know, when
the Bermuda Triangle type thing.
That's funky. You never know. Well, you know, they said...
I mean, it's not just that one spot, right? It's a line.
Yeah, it's the date line.
There's a whole line that goes...
Yeah, well, yep.
So it should be out by Hawaii somewhere, too?
Well, no, because it's Hawaii on Mountain Time, right? Or no, they're on Pacific Time.
No, they're not.
What? I don't know what time.
They're way further than that.
Yeah, but...
I remember when I lived in Kansas, my buddy called me from Hawaii at like 9 o'clock at night. He said he was on the beach. I was like, what? It's like,
what the hell's
it's
going on?
freezing, man. It's the
Right.
winter. He's like, not in Hawaii.
Lucky him, huh?
I'm pretty sure it's like 3 hours from here, like time-wise, because Colorado or California is only an hour behind.
Oh, well, hold on, because Hawaii doesn't do a time change.
Oh. So
Arizona and Hawaii are...
So what?
I don't know.
So what time does that mean it is in
So
Hawaii?
maybe... well, it depends. So it'll fluctuate, right? So, because we do our
It wouldn't
time...
fluctuate if it doesn't change.
Well, ours fluctuates. I mean, so sorry. Theirs doesn't fluctuate. Ours fluctuates. So it would be 3 hours one time and 2 hours the next time. Something like that, maybe. Huh?
I don't know.
It depends.
I think that's that simulation stuff. It's the seam in the matrix.
Well, no. So like, if you like, sometimes when you call my sister because she's living in Arizona, she's on the same time, and then I don't remember if it's spring or if it's fall. Then it goes forward or back.
It's like half the year she's yelling at you.
Half
Don't
the-
call me so early.
Yeah, man. You know I'm still sleeping.
What the hell's wrong with you?
I'm in a time zone.
Sorry.
I'm sorry that y'all don't have time zone.
Sorry about that.
A boot that.
All right, guys. Well, we really do appreciate you hanging with
thank
us,
y'all.
and hopefully we didn't bore you to death. And
yeah.
hopefully we got you to think a little bit and see
Right.
what you want us to talk about, what you want us to figure out. We'll get better and better at this investigating the stuff we're talking
my
about.
bad. I don't know.
But promise.
I'll get better facts.
So we'll keep working hard at this. We definitely want you guys to join us again next week. So thank you all.
Yeah,
and,
come on. If you all got a fun fact you'd like to share with us, send it in.
Yep.
We'll share it with the rest of the world, man.
Right on. You guys have a good one.